a dime and Ernie, a dime and the Ernie, and a dime and Ernie, a dime and the Ernie and Hey everybody, welcome back to Joystick Maverick episode 28. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. How did we get here? We've been here this whole time. Hey everybody, welcome back. Man, what a light week, actually. It's been such a relief.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
To be honest. Let's just be honest.
Such a relief, man. I mean, I don't even mean like personally. I just mean like in the world of content, as far as like gaming and TVs and movies goes, super light week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Super light.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm even cool with like next week being just as light, if that's all right. Universe, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that is what it is. But as always, I am Ernie, and you are Dom, and we are your hosts for the show. What's up?
What's up, dude?
We are also brought to you in part by our sponsor, Tough Wraps. ToughWraps.com. That's right. We are proudly sponsored by them. Go to ToughWraps.com. Use code Joystick at checkout to get 10% off of your purchase of supplements, apparel, and gear. Stay tough. Freeze frame. Freeze frame. But no, granted, while it was a short week, it was also not, without its downs. And as usual, we like to sandwich this show with a really upbeat intro. We go into any like down stuff, like the In Memoriam with Sidney Poitier and Bob Saget, and then we move forward. But both of them, huge impact on our lives. Let's be honest though. If I'm gonna be really real, I think the content I've probably personally viewed the most, I've seen Bob Saget in over than Sidney Poitier. Not saying that this Medal of Honor recipient did not deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Sidney Poitier stopped acting in 2001.
Yeah.
He's
but at the same time, he was such a huge activist in civil rights, and just putting, people of color a lot forward in, say, like film and movies and things like that. So his contribution definitely outweighs any contribution I've ever made to society. So definitely deserves this lovely medal wearing from Obama that we've got on the screen here. Bob Saget, he was America's dad growing up, America's Funniest Home Videos, and then of course in my adulthood I got to see him just be like a complete trash bag on Entourage, which was awesome.
He was awesome on Entourage.
And then you hear about him personally just being a super nice and genuine person, even to where like he was on like a pizza review at Barstool and like sent a handwritten letter like after the fact. Like I don't know anybody that does like thank you notes besides like my wife and I for most things. Hey, thanks. But sucks.
I thought he was an asshole in real life, but apparently, just because I guess he plays an asshole really well on TV.
Right. I think a lot of his like humor is raunchy as far as like his stand-up.
Yeah, like his whole aristocrats joke, like that whole thing was some of the most insane shit I've ever heard. But apparently he's like literally the nicest guy on the planet. He was literally the nicest guy.
He was. But yeah, so RIP to both those guys. Man, what I mentioned.
I would love to not have an In Memoriam every single episode.
Dude, I would love to. Right? I mean, I'm not going to say this is going to sound funky. I would like to have at least just make it one person. We've had double up 2 weeks in a row. That's not great. Somebody else, who was it? It was God dang it, man! I know his name, and it's going to escape me. His first name's Sam. He's the old guy with the big old mustache. Who's like the Sam Elliott. Thank you. People are like, we must protect Sam Elliott, and I'm like, Sam Elliott, of all people, Sam Elliott has looked the same age for 20 years since. Yeah,
I don't know how old he is.
In 1995, he's looked the same.
Yeah,
I mean. Granted, he was a ghostwriter at one point. He was one of the Earps in Tombstone, and now he's in that show 1880 something as a prequel to Yellowstone. There you go.
I just watched all of Yellowstone. It's so good.
I've only seen one clip so far, and it was the clip of Kevin Costner asking, I guess the ranch hand that everybody wants to be on top of, who was
Raymond
from
Calitri.
Raymond Calitri. That's right. Too Fast, Too Furious. Which, to me, I always just think of him from Dazed and Confused. so it's just
Right.
even more like less intimidating. But like he asked him like, so we ever figure out what we're gonna do about this? He's like, well, we just best we came up with is like, just fuck it, we're gonna get him up there. We're just gonna chase him down the hill, and he's like, okay, fuck it. It's like that's pretty much half my day right there. Just gonna figure it out. But I digress. Moving on to more upbeat things. R.I.P. Sidney Poitier and Bob Saget. But the state of gaming has some hope on the horizon. Pun intended for one of the topics we're going to be talking about. But first up, Thor, or God of War, Ragnarok with Thor right here. We talked about this last week, but
so this is a bit of a misprint on our side a little bit.
Uh-oh.
God of War Ragnarok is not on PC.
Huh?
God of War is on PC.
God of War.
The one Ragnarok hasn't come out yet. That comes out later on this year.
Let me throw this up here. Spoiler banners, spoiler banners, spoiler banners. Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I just read the note and I was like,
it's on me.
Yeah.
I should have trusted more, or trusted less, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is coming out eventually. Not right now. Thanks. I really hope someone that we know is watching this, and I will not blames, but we're going to skip right ahead. So coming soon to PC is going to be God of War Ragnarok.
Who knows if it's coming to PC?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're moving right along. But at least for February, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got, I'm just going to read the quick list here. Thank you, Matt, once again for the show notes. Our man in the chair. The first one, Life is Strange Remastered Collection. The next one, The Waylanders, Dying Light 2, OlliOlliWorld, Sifu, Crossfire X, Know by Heart, Lost Ark, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, which, by the way, I think the last time I played a Dynasty Warriors was Dynasty Warriors 3. The King of Fighters.
PS2.
Yeah, bro. The King of Fighters 15. We've got Total War Warhammer 3. Horizon Forbidden West. Destiny 2. The Witch Queen, which I know you're going to have a lot of opinions on. Monarch. Martha is Dead, which, by the way, if Clark or Bruce had anything to say about it, Martha would not be dead. Elden Ring. Grid Legends. Blood Bowl 3. And then Evil Dead the Game, which is not on our list tonight, but I do want to bring up the fact that Evil Dead had a little tribute this week, but we'll get to there when we get to it. So first things first, on our list here is OlliOlliWorld. I actually I really put this on the list here, Dom, because we get to it, right? Bam. Because just this wallpaper in itself made me think of so many Cartoon Network shows right now. I really love the visual style of it. But the game itself is a 2D platforming skateboarding game. The game takes place in Radlandia, which sounds awesome, where the player can interact with the game's characters and take on side quests. To get high scores, the player is required to chain together tricks in order to get combos. Sounds very familiar to any other skateboarding or X Games-like game. The player can ride walls and grind on rails, increase their score. OlliOlliWorld introduces elements new to the franchise, such as quarter pipes and branching paths. The game has a hand-drawn art style, in contrast to the pixel art of previous entries. It looks awesome. It just looks like a fucking great time, if I'm being truly honest.
Yeah, I played, so there was an OlliOlli that came out a couple of years back, or a fair amount of years back at this point that I played. And I really enjoyed it.
It's definitely, to me, kind of hits a little bit more younger in scales or in the age of gaming kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just looks like fun, man. I wanted to make sure we don't alienate the gamers that are into that kind of thing, like Animal Crossing, right? I don't really talk about it enough because I don't play it enough, and that's not fair to everybody else that does tune in. I heard a joke today. It was like, man, my kids are really into Animal Crossing, and it's really entertaining when I hear them say, I really got to figure out how to pay off my house in Animal Crossing. And then my brain's like, maybe you could also figure out how to pay off our house in real life. So that'd be great. And I was like, yes, this is our new economics class for the next generation is Animal Crossing.
Dude. It kind of is. I mean, shit. Tom Nook is a goddamn loan shark. Pay your bills on time, yo.
I really got some joy out of that. Shout out to Frank. if you do ever listen to this show, maybe you'll hear it and you'll appreciate it. Next up on our little game list here, Sifu. This is
This game looks fucking cool.
Dude, this shit looks dope. This looks dope.
Yeah.
A kung fu student sets out to fulfill a lifelong vendetta, hunt down and defeat the 5 assassins who brutally murdered his family. The game is set in a modern Chinese city and is mostly grounded in reality, though magic exists in the world as the protagonist possesses a magical talisman that revives him whenever he suffers a fatal injury in combat, with the downside being that he ages a specific number of years, with each resurrection, and will eventually die once the talisman's magic is used up. This is such a great,
Yeah, it's like a roguelike, but kind of not.
Yeah.
It's cool. The gameplay looks cool as shit. I love martial arts
It's
style
a
games.
neat,
And
plus it's a neat mechanism for the life meter trope, instead of getting only 3 or 4 hearts, your character visually ages.
Right.
Which is, if you see any of the the concept art or any of the promotional art for this game, you'd be like, okay, there must be 2 different characters. There must be a younger character and an older character. No, they're the same person. They're just somebody's not as good as living as the other one is, So, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will more than likely end up playing this game a lot sooner than any game on PlayStation, because it supposedly is coming out on PC. I say supposedly, I'm going to hedge with supposedly every time I say PC for the rest of the episode after the very first topic of the state of gaming. And now I think I'll forever and always... No, I can't blame Mike. No, it's not his fault. We trusted somebody.
No, it's not. We did.
It's not him. Hey, yo. Not his fault. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Shout out Mahaffey. Next up, though, this game it's a sequel, yeah? Again, we've talked about this 15 times, but every time we talk about
Forbidden
it,
West.
I'll worry about it when we get to it. And then it's like, guess what? It's next month.
We're getting to it.
Yeah, we finally got to it.
This game snuck up on me. I had no idea. I forgot it was coming out next month. I was like, oh, this is coming out in December of 2022. And they're like, nope, it's coming out in February. And I'm like, oh, shit, really? That quick?
I honestly, every time I see this game, I think it's only going to be released during a warm month. It doesn't compute in my brain that, right around Valentine's Day, there's going to be a game release that's clearly taking place in a tropical environment.
Right.
Maybe it's the little last bastion to get you through your seasonal depression, maybe that's what's happening. But Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy, a young huntress of the Nora tribe, as she leads a band of companions on a quest to the arcane frontier known as the Forbidden West, to find the source of a mysterious plague that kills all it infects. That's a long first sentence. On her journey across these uncharted lands, Aloy encounters new and unfamiliar regions ravaged by massive storms and deadly machines, and comes into conflict with an army of nomadic raiders who have managed to tame the machines for use as war mounts. She also discovers a vast array of environments and ecosystems, including lush valleys, dry deserts, snowy mountains. Oh, there we go, snow. I got you. Maybe that's the first place she encounters, right next to the beach. And tropical beaches and ruined cities both above and below the water. So at least you can tell just by that list of environments, you've at least got several different stages of the game. It's not going to be something that hopefully somebody beats in 10 hours.
No, the first one was super long. I really want to play the first one, and I've tried it a few times, and I got into it a little bit, and I think stuff just came out. It was the most beautiful looking game on PlayStation 4 for a long time.
Really?
It was light years ahead of everything else.
That's a big proclamation.
And it's really well done. The crafting system for the weapons and armor and everything is really cool. The environments are really cool. It did feel a little empty just because it's another one of those post-apocalyptic games where you're kind of in the future or whatever. But it was a ton of fun. I want to play it. The new one looks really cool. So was it CES, Consumer Electronics Show, was just the last 2 weeks?
I feel like Sony, it was. I saw the new.
So
it was.
Sony,
Right.
Sony unveiled VR2. Well, they already unveiled VR2 before, but they announced a companion game to this game that is going to be premiering in VR that everybody's super hyped about, and I can't remember the name of it.
No shit.
But it's a Horizon game. I honestly forgot about it until you mentioned Horizon today, and I was like, oh, yeah. But Horizon Forbidden West looks dope. It looks really cool. I'm excited.
Mahaffey is proudly defending himself respectfully, saying that he could not find anything that said it wasn't coming out on PC, so he thought he missed something. You know what? I like that. We're going to err on the side of everything comes out on PC. PC Master Race.
Right.
But he did say he put 5 hours into Horizon before he dropped off that game, and he basically said it's another Witcher 3 for him, which is...
Yep. That's the easiest way to put it. I want to play Witcher 3 so bad. I want to love that game. And
You want to.
I just don't give a shit about the game. It's just like Bloodborne, Dark Souls. I'm sure Elden Ring, when that comes out. Like
5 hours in.
Yeah, I'm 5 hours in. I guarantee I'll spend less than 5 hours in Elden Ring before I'm like, nah, this isn't for me.
Yeah. I think it's one of those, like, you have to really, truly love or identify with the character and landscape to really appreciate it and go through it. But hopefully that's not the case for this game, because it clearly has been, like, coming around for such a long time that even I feel like it's funny. I heard the announcement this week that the PlayStation 4 is going to be continued to be made. Because it's their most popular selling console yet for PlayStation. Xbox One, however, that series is donezo. Microsoft is not producing anymore. Bye-bye Dodo Bird. Which I'm kind of 50-50 on that split, you know, like, oh, keep PlayStation 4 going. It's like, well, if the silicone and the resources are that hard to get, don't blow it
Why
on
are
the
you going to
old
make
versions.
more PlayStation 4s? Like,
yeah, whereas, you know, if we're going on the Microsoft side, they're like, yeah, we're donezo with that.
it doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense.
Like, it doesn't make any sense because, like, they're not putting out PlayStation 4 games. They're putting out PlayStation 5 games.
Right.
Whereas Xbox could continue making the Xbox One because every game that's coming out is for both.
Yep.
So it's not, like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll never
understand it.
There's got to be a dollar point somewhere that somebody's figured out. They're just not going to tell us anytime soon. The next up, though, I think this is more like one I think you want to sink your teeth into, and I welcome the shit out of it because
this is a Dom Irvin special for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you want me to read the plot synopsis, I'm looking at the size of this thing. It's massive. There's so many buzzwords.
You don't need to do that. We don't absolutely need to do it. I'll summarize this bitch for you right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the words in here, and several of them have like umlauts or accents or chevrons like in the middle of them. I can't even. I'm not gonna butcher this. I'm not gonna do it.
Essentially, okay. Here's the like 5-second story to this.
Hit me with it. I would love to hear any of these words pronounced properly from you.
Oh, I got you. All right. In Destiny 1, you fought a dude named Oryx. Okay. Oryx was a hive god.
Oh, that was the easy one. That was 4 letters.
Right.
I can get the guy that one.
Oryx has 2 sisters, Zabathun and Zebu-Arath.
Yeah, I would have fucked those up.
Zabathun has been a overarching, behind-the-scenes villain of the entire Destiny 2 experience. From the beginning all the way up until right now. This whole next expansion is about you going to face her.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'll tell you what. I have fallen off of that game really hard. Because this season, so Destiny's been split into seasons like any other game that is right now.
Yeah.
So this season has been extended by 4 months because Witch Queen was supposed to come out in August. No, September. Witch King was supposed to come out in September or October. But they got pushed back because of COVID.
I remember the big announcement for this, and you were just going bananas over it. Like, I think... Yeah, we talked about it. It was right before our little hiatus back in Q4.
Yeah. So, I'm excited. They're bringing a bunch of new things into it. There's, like, a weapon crafting system that they briefly touched on, which is brand new to the thing, which comes with a weapon called the glaive, which is like a sword on a stick. But yeah, it's more the same. It's more Destiny.
Well, Destiny
toxic ass fan base.
I was gonna say Destiny is a Bungie property, which immediately makes me think of the old school Halo, right? Not today's Halo, but and all I've heard about is the toxic online environment. At the same time, I've also heard it's a really fun, awesome game, mostly from you.
It's great.
But there's
It's a
that
ton of
balance,
fun.
right? There's that balance of like, do you want to participate in the community or do you want to just play the game and get through the game?
Let me tell you something about the community. The community's toxic, but it's not like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty,
Dota.
Dota,
yeah.
Fortnite. It's not nearly as toxic as any of those.
Oh yeah, Fortnite is just trash bag. So much so, I'm not going to name names for anybody that watches this show, but so much so that people are like, yeah, I have to remind my kid when they come off from playing Fortnite that they're not playing Fortnite anymore. And the way they're talking is not going to be tolerated.
If I ever had a kid talk to me, bro, no kids for me, but if I ever get approached by a child in public that says like some shit from Fortnite or is like you're trash or is like all that stuff, I'm slapping that kid. I'm
gonna mush children.
Sidebar.
I want to mush
Do
children.
you remember you were in the car with me? Is when we worked at the Apple store. When we were driving down the street and this kid walked in front of us and flipped us both off.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
And had his mom in front of him and shit. And like you and I both rolled down our windows and started yelling at that kid.
Yeah, he was like, "What are you gonna do?" We're like, "I'm gonna come out there and whoop you, bro. Your mom's gonna thank both of us. Like, she's gonna high five us when we're done."
That was awesome. I remember
Freaking
that.
little monsters. Yeah. I'm not, what was it? I think it's Chris Tucker. No, reverse that. Chris Rock has a comedy special. He does, his whole joke is like, "I'll never hit a kid, but I will shake the shit out of one." Now, these are jokes, folks. These are jokes. Don't cancel us. We're not only on episode 28. We're not quite there yet. But no, I got to agree with you. Like, I'm excited about what's happening with Destiny 2, and as far as like the continuation of the story, I hope that the gameplay is good, and I hope it's been worth the wait. Honestly, when you get an extra quarter of the year, or at least like 6 months, it's got to be something that's like all the bugs are massaged out. Like, hopefully they've been sitting there like waiting to just flip the switch and then just like flip it.
I guarantee you the launch is going to be a shit show.
Oh, really?
Every single Destiny launch is a shit show.
Dang.
And like, look, Bungie has done a really great job through this drought between seasons and expansions of bringing things that are meaningful. Like, they had their whole 30th anniversary event that came out in December. That was awesome. They've done a lot of good things, and I would say Bungie is really known for engaging with the community, whether the community likes it or not. I would say the Bungie community is just like that Whitney Houston song. What have you done for me lately?
I will always love you.
The What Have You Done For Me Lately?
Oh, okay, so that's a different song.
Because the Destiny community is always, what have you done for me lately? It's like, hey, we're doing this really cool thing. Yeah, but like, what about this thing?
Right.
Or, hey, we're doing this really cool thing, but like, what about Shatter Dive? Hey, we nerfed Shatter Dive, but like, what about Dawn Blade? Well, hey, we nerfed Dawn Blade, but what about Vault Space? And like, if I had to be the product manager there, like, I would literally, you wouldn't let me talk to the community.
But I say, imagine being the community manager.
I'd be telling people,
just social
the community
people.
managers. The community managers are incredible. Cosmo and DMG, like, they are they're great, and they're super engaged in their community. They like just let shit roll off the chest. Like, DMG can get a little spicy sometimes, and I'm like, I'm here for it. When he's like telling somebody to fuck off, but like not telling somebody to fuck off in a very politically correct way. I'm like, yep, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Because if it were me,
okay, great.
The first person that came up to me that was like, your game is trash, I'd be like, don't fucking play it. Go find a new game.
Click. Banned for life. You're gone. Oh, is it trash now? Because you're banned. And then finally, I think I'm going to flip back a couple of slides here. There we go. Elden Ring. We talked about it last week. This is definitely, I think, the bigger hitter quitter of the month. It comes out towards the end of the month, right? It's like the last couple of days, I think. It's like the 24th or something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's going to mush. It's going to mush everything.
The one thing that
month
will keep me into Elden Ring is the fact that it's Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I think George R.R. Martin's writing is, and you can put me on quote here, is way overrated.
This is going on
His
TikTok.
Books
Emotional
are boring
damage.
as fuck. He's got some kind of an Oedipus complex, or something going on, because the amount of incest in those books is insane.
I think this is like, I have a theory about this kind of stuff. It's like when you see relatively unknown people and they have a show that really becomes a hit, like the next season or two they kind of gain some weight, or like you hear about like just horrible things about them and you're like, man, I'm really disappointed. My thing with George R.R. Martin is like, I think secretly brilliant, right? Not unsecretly, publicly genius, secretly nerd person who has gained a shit ton of like mainstream fandom, and because of that he might just be a little cocky, and I think he's just
a little bit.
I think he's just ready to like call it quits. He's like, I'm going out on top, I'm out, bye-bye, I'm never gonna finish that last book, I'm donezo here.
I watched the first season of Wheel of Time, and I know everybody that has read those books hates that show.
However, is it really that bad off from the show?
I love the show.
Damn.
You know why? Because the first episode, Jaime and Cersei Lannister aren't fucking in a tower. And I'm like,
I'm sitting here going like, oh, is it because of the giant werewolf people? And you're like, nope, I'm gonna go back to the incest route. Like,
like
there's no Oedipal
it's
complex.
not shoved down my throat. Listen, The Lord of the Rings did it for 3 fucking movies at 4 hours apiece and kept me entertained without having to have anybody have sex. So like,
that's the second time Lord of the Rings has come up this week. Man.
Dude, I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
And both times it came up, it didn't have incest in it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Crazy. Literally, like, George R.R. Martin is like that guy who like watches like fake snuff films and does shit for like shock value.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like The Red Wedding, shock value. The Mountain and the Red Viper, shock value. Let's see. The Night King shit, shock value. Literally every Ned Stark. Oh my god, I forgot Ned Stark right in the beginning of the show.
I feel like he does come from the school of like, coincidence should never get you out of trouble. Coincidence should only get you into more trouble. Like, and that's a very like, I think that's one of the foundations of Pixar films is like, oh, what a coincidence, we're now fucked. Like any Pixar show or movie, it's like that. I haven't seen Encanto all the way through.
I need to watch it.
But all I know is I'm sure there's going to be one moment where it's like, fuck, And
Abuela is coming to take my Hispanic card and being like, yo, you haven't watched Encanto yet?
Oh,
like, what's wrong with you?
Let me tell you. I know my other half, who does not speak a lick of Spanish or read Spanish or understand any of it, has watched it way more than I have this past several days. But I can tell you that we don't talk about Bruno. No. Because it's been on in the background this entire freaking time. We don't talk about Bruno, no. But I can't wait to watch the whole thing. I have no clue what's going on. I even love the fact that, spoiler alert, I'm not going to say anything about Bruno other than that song and a color associated with Bruno. There's a Disney green. I'm sure you've heard of this, Disney green, Disney blue, right?
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, in Disney World or Disneyland, there's a Disney blue that's painted on the back of buildings in the distance, so that when you look up at, say, the skyline of a park you're in, you don't notice that you see the back of a building from another park. So it's painted this Disney blue to help you miss it in the skyline. The Disney green is painted on objects that they want you to ignore. Doors that are only for use for employees. Whenever they put up any kind of like scaffolding around bushes or whatever that need to be pruned and bruned or whatever. So, but evidently Bruno is constantly wearing this Disney green Pantone, which helps you forget and miss him entirely.
And I feel bad because I just shit on George R.R. Martin for 5 minutes.
Well, now I got to take the spoiler banners down. So, spoiler alert.
I apologize for shitting on George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin's trash, and now they are off. Spoiler banners gone.
The dragons look fucking cool in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's the one redeeming quality for me.
Yeah, and, something that George R.R. Martin had nothing to do with.
What's the guy's name? The guy from John Wick 3. Braun?
Oh, yeah.
That guy, cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Big fan of him.
The guy who was standing up for Peter Dinklage. Yeah.
Yeah. Loved him.
That's my
He
guy.
was great. Peter Dinklage was great too. Maybe there is a lot more to that show
There's
that
a
I
few
like,
redeeming
but-
qualities. But let me say something for this next topic. We're now going to coming soon. Scream the movie comes out tomorrow. I think it's one of our few coming soon topics, and if not the only
coming
one.
soon
Yeah,
topic, I think.
I'm super pumped actually about this movie because I watched all the Screams, right? Like from the original one that came out to the trash bag of the last one. This is, I think, got like a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
That's awesome.
Like, let me not. Scream. Let me make sure. I'm gonna give you a live update here at the time of recording this. It has.
Let me tell you what. While you're looking that up,
Blip.
Sam
75. Wow, that's pretty good considering a Scream film.
Burson, yeah, Sam Burson, who doesn't like a lot of things,
Yeah. Well, I love you, Sam. Thanks for that.
yeah. And I'm saying that because he sent something in the Slack channel that he said, "Oh, this is big Dom energy," and I'm not feeling it. He's not wrong, but I'm not feeling it.
I'm feeling it only because of the if for those watching right now on the split of this wallpaper, we've got all the old school people in here. We've got David Arquette, we've got Courtney Cox, and then Nev Campbell. Again, I know he's not listed. He's not listed on IMDb.
I would love for that.
But if Matthew
what you want to
Lillard
happen,
shows
that'd
up,
be sweet.
that would be so tight. I know he's in the new He's All That or whatever, but Matthew Lillard, that's my guy. Everybody else on the left, I don't know, except for maybe two actors, and one of them being from The Boys.
Who's the guy from The Boys?
No, shoot. Yeah, Jack Quaid, right?
Oh, that is Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made me second guess it. I was like, I'm pretty sure this guy gets the shit
you're
kicked
right.
out of him every season of The Boys. Like,
Yeah.
Homelander's just a dick to him constantly. And then, of course, Carl Urban, same thing.
Yo, Nev Campbell looks great, by the way.
They all look great.
Courtney Cox looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Well, Courtney Cox has had some work done. She
David Arquette is getting up there too.
Yeah, he's looking like a poorly aged baseball mitt there. You know what I'm saying? But Courtney Cox, I think she's doing fine. Cougar Town was such a great show. I enjoyed it. Not everybody
And then
did.
you realize that Cougar Town is like 15 years old.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. And then, of course, I have to like kind of backtrack to Betty White from last week. Somebody pointed out that Golden Girls, when it came out, they're all like 55 and 54. And now with Sex and the City doing its like second iteration or second chapter of its show, they're all the same age. And you're just like,
I cannot get fucking away from Sex and the City in my house right now.
oh no.
My wife rewatched the whole thing, so Ash rewatched the whole thing. My mother's rewatching it.
Oh, no.
They're watching Just Like That.
Oh, no.
I'm like, dude, I am so over this show. I'm so over it.
Is that why you're not like standing right now in front of your Peloton and like, I love this thing? Because what they did to Big.
What they did to Big, yeah.
Yeah, sons of bitches. Moving right along. This week, no lightning round. That's how light a week of it. Like it's just so. I mean, there's some stuff.
We ain't got
There's some
shit,
stuff.
like-
I mean, we could be like, oh, Murderville or whatever, or they're gonna potentially ruin the raid with a reboot. Like, pfft.
I'm so angry about that. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Just watch the original.
Really? You're saying you just watch it? I thought you said you just watched it.
No.
Yeah.
Just go watch it. The Raid and the Raid 2, pound for pound, in the last 15 years, is probably the best martial arts movies that have come out.
See, I agree with you there, and that's kind of my thing. Why I mentioned Silent Sea. We've talked about Squid Game. Like, give the original content the respect it's due.
Yeah.
And just watch it. You don't have to have a Americanized version of it.
So the two dudes from the second Raid are in John Wick 3. They're the two Indonesian guys that he fights.
Oh yeah.
Near the end of John Wick 3. They're really short.
Yeah.
So Iko Uwais, who's the main character of the Raid and the Raid 2, fights one of them in a kitchen in the Raid 2, and it's the best fight scene I've ever seen. It is the most brutal fight scene, and it's beautifully choreographed. And they do so. One of the big things about those movies is that they use Salat, which is Indonesian, like Filipino and Indonesian fighting, and it's off the wall. Wait, David Arquette is certified for Bob Ross.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now. That's what I'm reading right
funny.
now. I'm sitting here giggling. Serial killer needs to be in everything for real. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Mike. Whatever.
Yeah.
But no, for new releases, again, a fairly short list this week. We're not really, again, we're not making huge dents. But I will tell you right now, the first one I want to talk about
under an hour.
It's not even on this list down because I wanted to surprise you with it. But I got it on my slide here. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Hey, I watched.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Fuck.
It's so good. My favorite thing in the entire world is now like trying to find that sleeper sneaker thing to like slip into you and Mahaffey because we don't talk that often except for like during like these peak parts of the week. And when I get a damn it Ernie out of the blue from Mahaffey and I'm like, what? And then I realize what it's all about. Yes.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was a true love letter to the original two films, and then a little bit of a hopeful love note to what could be next. I loved every minute of it.
Dude, so I watched the Melissa McCarthy, Kirsten Wiig.
I enjoyed that movie.
I did too. I thought it was fine. I was like, this is great. I don't like the fact that all the original Ghostbusters are not Ghostbusters. They're just random people in there, which is great. Throwing Bill Murray out the window, awesome.
Yeah.
I
Dan
thought it was
Aykroyd being the taxi driver.
Yeah. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Boom.
I thought it was fine, and then I watched this, and I'm like, "Fuck, this was so fucking good."
Have you said this movie sent him down a spiral? Yeah, man. I was getting all kinds of goosebumps. I think, I don't know about most people, but when I get the chills or goosebumps, whatever you would call them, my nips get hoard. My nips were hoard the entire time. Every time a little bit of music trickle, a little bit of just even like the playful kind of prance of the piano. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. The same thing when they first go into the library in the beginning of the first film. It's a little bit of like just playfulness, and then of course the actors did a great job. And I don't mean the original cast. I do truly mean let me throw these spoiler banners up. I do truly mean the cast you see in the trailer.
Wonderful. Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, did a wonderful job.
Paul Rudd was incredible. The girl who played Phoebe, she was hilarious. Yes. I loved her. She was so good. When she started just cracking jokes, like deadpan jokes.
Yeah.
And like
her like a way of blending in.
Yeah.
It was definitely like every single time you're right. Every single time she did drop one of those, I was like, this is going to be good. Like after the first one, I was like, okay, this is her. And then of course, like the one you don't see in the trailer at all was truly like the little show stealer podcast. Her
podcast was great.
Yeah, her little friend. I'm like, yes, I want more of this guy.
And how that went full circle in the whole movie was fucking awesome. Like,
oh yeah. Oh, you're my one subscriber. I was like, I know how that feels.
Yeah. It was soup to nuts. The movie was so good. I loved it.
Happy said he ended up watching Ghostbusters 1, Goonies, Clue, and Shaun of the Dead. That's a good day.
Yeah.
That's a good day. I mean,
I'm
due sorry,
for
I'm
a Shaun of the Dead rewatch.
I love, I think it's the band is called I Monster, and there's a particular song that's in the middle of the very beginning of Shaun of the Dead, and I've been getting random TikToks with that song. And I'm just like,
oh, really?
I need to watch Shaun of the Dead. And now here we go. The universe is like...
Mike sent me the picture of Sean and Ed when they're listening to electro music when Pete walks in, and they both look up like this. And Mike's like, if there's one picture that encapsulates our friendship, it's that. And I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Oh,
that is you.
Does that make me Pete? Pete! It's 4 in the
fucking
fucking morning! It's a Saturday. No, it's not. It's fucking Sunday. I've got to go to work in 4 fucking hours.
I remember seeing that movie in theaters. I snuck out of Shark Tale because I was not old enough to go see an R-rated movie. So me and my friend Brittany went to go see Shark Tale and then snuck out of it and then
That's awesome.
went to go see
This is back when you were
Shaun of the
near
Dead.
AMC's and Regals and
This was the Regal MacArthur.
legit named
Regal
movie
MacArthur.
theaters. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
R.I.P. MacArthur Center. R.I.P.
Yep.
But next on our list, something that we have not talked about for 3 weeks in a row, Peacemaker. All right, so before I go any further, this picture that you will see if you're got the live stream up in about 10 seconds. This picture, if I'm lying, I'm dying, Dom. I've been watching these YouTube videos with my daughter recently called Miss Rachel, and there's a whole moment where Miss Rachel is singing about numbers and shit, and in the background is this baby blue background with these little like oil painting looking like fish or whatever, and it's the same exact energy that this guy has right freaking now. If I'm lying, I'm dying. It's the same energy. And I know you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, Ernie, because the delay is 20 seconds long and it's yet to pop up. But hopefully right here is when you're going to see it.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, there it is.
See it.
Yeah, you
There
can see
we go.
you can see the it flex a little bit. But like, she's just sitting there like, and now we're gonna do A B C, A B C, meow. And now I get to see John Cena holding a giant Desert Eagle .50 with an extended barrel covered in blood spatter. I'm like, yep, this is what I think it is now. Every time I see it,
I want to watch. Like, I really want to like this.
I'm 20 minutes into the first episode.
I heard
the
it's
only
so good.
It's funny, man. It's definitely funny. You gotta take the John Cena out of it.
I got to get past the fact that he was the most unlikable part of fucking Suicide Squad, and like I did not like him in that movie, but I love James Gunn, and I know that this is going to be great, and I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. I've heard it.
If you want to gauge this show alone by one clip, just watch the title sequence. So when you just
I've heard
introducing
about it. Yeah.
the title
I've heard
sequence,
it's so good.
it's so fucking good because he is so
I just
weirdly
fucking
shaped.
hate John Cena, man.
I'm telling you, if you stop going John Cena and you start going Peacemaker, it takes it out. I mean, it's like it's the same reason. Like for the longest time, my wife did not appreciate Benedict Cumberbatch, aka Burger, to anybody online. Is because one of the films that she first saw him in, he was a pedo, and ever since then she was like, "I'm out."
What movie was that?
Well, the girl in the movie was like 15.
What movie though?
Not Atonement, but something like that.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those.
It was
Pride and
period.
Prejudice.
It was a period
It's a
piece.
period piece. Yeah.
He ends up marrying the girl later on, which doesn't make it okay, but it's definitely still weird. So in her brain, though, that guy not so great, and I'm like, yeah, but he's an actor, and the reason you don't like him is because the actor's so good. But artist and
I don't
art.
like John Cena is because he's fucking John Cena.
Because he's a giant Ernest P. World. But no, so far so good. I
heard
haven't
it's
seen
great.
the rest of it.
I wanna
Obviously,
watch it.
the rest of the actors are just as fantastic as he. Well, according to you, they're better than he is. So, but I digress. Next up, I have thoughts, and I'm not gonna spoil anything. I really got to be better on these spoiler banners. Spoiler banners down. I did not like the end of this show, Dexter: New Blood, this season.
I liked it better than the ending of the original.
Okay, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there.
I went into this show knowing that this was the end game.
I'm a spoiler burner.
Just spoil it.
Spoil it.
Like,
yeah.
just put a spoil. I went into this knowing that him getting popped was the end game.
I went into the show knowing there would be like a naked dick shot of fucking what's his face, the
Kurgan?
the Trinity Killer,
Oh yeah, John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. I thought it was going to be just straight up dick out. He's going to be secretly his dark passenger, or his, what's his name? Harrison's dark passenger was going to be just a full on naked John Lithgow standing there next to him in the snow at the end. And it wasn't, and I was so disappointed. And I'm like, why did I want to see John Lithgow's dick that bad? Like, is it just want to measure up? I don't know, because so many people online were like, I would never look at Jonathan Lithgow the same again. I'm like, he wasn't even really in the show. Like, flashbacks count? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, Clancy Brown, fantastic.
Love Clancy Brown.
Fantastic.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm so happy that he ended up being like the weirdest serial killer with somehow magically preserving powers. Like, none of their skin was decaying.
Yeah.
And their little puppet viewing boxes, if you want to call it that. It looked like some fucked up arcade game room. You know, and you're like, oh, let's go play some Pac-Man. Pac-Man's got skin. Oh God. Like, it was just really weird. But no, I enjoyed the show and the season. And now I'm kind of like, let's just leave it where it is.
Just leave it. Don't make the thing. Don't make the next thing with Harrison and bring him back as Harrison's Dark Passenger. Like,
that's literally. I feel like if they do that, it's too on the nose. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna fucking do whatever they want to because it's gonna make money. But like,
I just wanted more like Angel Batista, man. I just wanted him to be there more often and like see Dexter.
Great. Love him.
Like, you know what they're doing? I just wanted him to be there and be like, what are you doing, man? Like, what the fuck? Where you been? Yeah. And then, fucking.
It's all right.
Terrible. Oh well, everybody got a payday. Good for them. Bye bye.
Michael C. Hall's great. Love him.
Yeah,
I want him in more stuff.
What was the Gamer, the movie Gamer with
What's the only other? That's the only other thing I could name
with Gerard
that has
Butler.
Michael C. Hall in it. Yeah.
He's just dancing at him all fucking weird. It's like, oh, Dexter's about to fight the guy from 300, and it's like, well, not really.
I just bought 300 and 302 on iTunes.
I love 300, 302. I love for different reasons.
I never saw it, but I know Ava Green is in it. And
Chef's kiss. All the things you wanted in James Bond, Casino Royale, you got in 300 Part 2. Chef's kiss. But on that note,
it's 8:50 and we're going into the last part of the show.
Hey, you know,
I'm with it.
I'm totally down.
Tight,
let's keep it tight, baby.
Keep it tight. Keep it tight show.
Speaking of keeping it tight, you know what you got to do? You got to go to toughraps.com. You got to put in that code Joystick Maverick at checkout, and you got to get that pre-workout. You got to get that creatine. You got to get that protein. You got that apparel, all that gear to keep it tight together. And always stay tough. Man, I love these little short weeks, man. It's not because I don't like what we're doing.
Too.
It's just.
But I have more energy.
Yeah.
Like, by the end of a 3-hour show, I'm falling asleep at the microphone. Because I'm just like, fuck. I've worked all day, and I'm just like, oh, fuck, I'm tired.
And again, I got to get better at the spoiler banners, but you know what? Spoiler alert, we're going to the final round. And spoiler alert, it's going to be all about the Book of Boba Fett. I'm
not caught up. I didn't watch the 3rd episode. I don't care. We can talk about it. Like, let's just talk about it.
Oh no, I don't.
I tried to watch it. I got through episode 2, and I was like, oh man, I'll watch episode 3, and it was fucking 7:57.
Oh, to Mavy's point, Michael C. Hall was in 6 Feet Under, a great HBO show.
Oh fuck, I totally forgot that. That was such a good show.
Such a good show. I didn't watch it.
That has touted one of the it's interesting because he's been on 2 shows. One has touted the best ending of any TV show of all time, and then one is touted as having the worst ending of any TV show.
It's funny if you were to tell me, hey, what are the 2 jokes that take place in or what are the 2 shows that take place in a funeral home? I'll say 6 Feet Under, and then I'll say, which I haven't seen, and then Pushing Daisies, which I have seen.
That has Lee Pace in it,
which has 6-foot giant Lee Pace.
Dude, I'm like 4 episodes into Foundation. Fuck, that show is good.
It's so good. It's so good.
I was cool on it for the first episode. Then I watched it. Ashley and I were watching, and we're like, "Fuck, this show is good."
Dude,
I'm completely sold on it.
It's so good, and I'm telling you, Apple did a terrible job of advertising
marketing it.
And I'm wondering if they've already sold the property to like Sci-Fi or some shit.
I hope that they don't, because the production value's through the fucking roof.
So nuts.
It's so good.
We actually bought the book when we first heard it announced it coming out on Apple TV, just so we could try to read it. And the visuals, man, you can't beat the visuals. Like, holy shit! Like, just that production value is bonkers. But I digress. We already talked about Foundation. Go see it on Apple TV. Not a sponsor. But Book of Boba Fett, we keep things off pretty sweet, I think. And I'm just gonna go to the video of us because I don't have any other pictures. So let's just talk about me. And you right here.
So I thought the show opened because we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
And I was very lukewarm on the show.
Okay.
And I watched the second episode, and I'm getting warmer on the show. I really like the Tusken Raider stuff.
Which is why I don't want to say anything about episode 3.
Is it like pop off? God damn it. All right.
No, it's not even like pop off. It's like stab you in the chest. Because what happened in the second episode?
Oh, no. Does he, like, betray the Tusken Raiders? Do they all die? God damn it.
You get a little bit of foundation. You get a little bit of investment in the characters.
And then the fucking spice trader is going to come in or something with him, and they're going to go decimate. It's going to go all Anakin Skywalker killing Shmi Skywalker all over again.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you what. For me, Star Wars is at its best when and this is just for me. Star Wars is at its best when the Force is involved. Okay?
Okay.
For me, what Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian have done have made me give a shit about other characters in that universe.
Nice.
Because, like, what are my favorite Star Wars properties? Knights of the Old Republic, the Darth Bane trilogy, anything to do with Revan, the Force Unleashed games.
The unspoken presence is in all of those properties.
Right.
The Force is always there.
Yeah. The Phantom Menace is, like, for me, one of my favorite Star Wars movies because Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, all of that. I mean, but, The Mandalorian and, by this chance, the Book of Boba Fett have really kind of brought some more groundedness to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
It's a lot more foot on the ground. No one gave a shit about the Tusken Raiders until this show. Like, really? Like, they were the bad guys in Star Wars A New Hope. Anakin killed a bunch of them because Shmi Skywalker got killed. And, like, that was really it. And then, like, you have
the sign
this
language version.
Right. It's cool.
Of Boba Fett.
Now I know that. Now that it's been alluded to that it's all just gonna. I know it has to because he ends up where he ends up, and there are no Raiders with him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I want to know how he gets Slave 1 because I know that's gonna come at some point. Yes. How he gets Slave 1 again. We know how he gets the armor because of the Mandalorian.
Timothy Olyphant is gonna be there, maybe. We'll see.
I love Timothy Olyphant.
He's so good.
He's so good. Or is it Josh Duhamel? They both look the same. Josh Duhamel and Timothy Olyphant, I for the longest time could not tell apart.
I think most people are there with you on that one. I can only think of the difference between them now because of the Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh yeah, the Santa Clarita Diet, man.
Great show.
What's the name of the Wookiee? Is that the name of the Wookiee?
Black Chrysanthemum, right, or whatever.
Yo, that dude. Ash saw that dude come on stage. She was like, "Yo, he is fucking sweet.
He is jacked." I was like, "Look at this salt pepper ass Wookiee right here, bro. Look at him with the huge spiked armor." I was like, "Yes, this is badass."
Speaking of salt and pepper, real quick, I gotta show you. This is terrible.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. Oh, look at this.
Dude, look at the white in my fucking hair, dude. I saw legit white in my hair.
Like this up front looks like a little look at tip frosting, like you were trying to do something cool.
It does, doesn't it?
Right back here, it's like we're just gonna give up on it. We're just all white.
It's so terrible.
But it's still thick like a rug. Look at that.
It's thick like a rug, dude.
Man, good grief.
It's not going anywhere.
You lucky bastard! I'll trade you. I got the sprinkles and the lack of thereof. You know what I'm saying? Let me put this down. You can see my peninsula. I'm just hoping it doesn't connect. That's when you're gonna see me go straight up and bicking it. It's gonna be gone.
I ain't gotta worry about losing my hair. That's the one thing.
No, man, you're gonna be the whitest haired samurai I know. Just all back in a top knot. It's gonna be great.
I had a top knot all through COVID.
I love it.
It's coming back though. I'm
like
throwing it out.
I like it. It looks good, man. But no, I got to agree with you. As far as like the first episode, it opens up. You've got Fennec, who is now his right hand lady, and well, let's be honest. We already agree she's badass. Anything she's in, gold. She can choose what she wants to be in.
Street Fighter.
Yes. You give me a Chun-Li. But no, her chasing down those assassins, fantastic. There's a little bit of like Boba Fett kind of thumbing the established order of, I didn't see you come in on your on Camelback or whatever, like with your whole train of people. No, I'm here, and I say I'm badass, and you're gonna treat me that way. I am the daimyo, and where's my
that
tribute?
Twi'lek emissary looks like fucking Danny Putty, and I know it's not Danny Putty, but he looks and sounds just like Danny Putty.
You know what his voice hit me with first was Crispin Glover.
Oh yeah,
and I was
totally
like,
right.
and I was like, that's not him. That's not him. I mean, the nose is there, and I know it's a different actor. If we were to be like pull him up, be like, oh, he's that guy in like 15 things. It's very much like David, not Demescu. What's his name? Oh my God, he was
That's Malkin.
That's Malkin. That's it. It's the same thing. You see them in like 15 things. You're like, oh, there's that guy. There is an extra in Hollywood movies and film and television that I know his face, and I have no idea what his name is. I've seen him now as far back as the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. I've seen him in Chuck. I've seen him in Social Network as a random person in the background. Yeah, if I'm lying, I'm dying. It's the same guy, kind of pudgy, white guy, curly red hair that slowly gets more darker over time as he gets older. This motherfucker is a vampire, and I'm telling you, if he has not aged a day, he hasn't aged 20 years. It's been insane. And every time I see him, I'm just like, it's like a new drinking game. If we were just going to have a night of it and be like, okay, if we ever see this guy, you have to finish off whatever drink in front of you plus another one, we'd be fucked up. Because he's in everything. And it's gonna really hurt my brain when somebody's like, oh yeah, that's like every movie show producer's great nephew, and that's why he's in everything. And I'm like, oh man, like it'd be like if Ben Savage appeared in everything that he produced.
That'd be fucking sweet.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd be with that.
Like
Ben Savage.
Wonder Years just shows up whenever he wants to, but this he's in fucking everything. I digress. But no, I think for this show in particular, episode 3, I think really kind of, for me, kicks it up a bit, but it's also got some really hardcore cheese value to it. There is a group of people in it that I don't want to say feel forced, but at the same time, it feels like a nice homage to American Graffiti, George Lucas's first real big film, which Harrison Ford was in, and which took place in the 1950s with all these like speed racer cars, but the vehicles they are using do not fit at all. They don't fit in the Star Wars universe. They do not fit on Mos Espa. They do not fit in Mos Eisley. They do not fit in any sand-riddled place. If we had them down at Hampton Roads, they would not fit at the beach because the salt air would just erode any kind of coolness from these vehicles. And the minute you watch this third episode, you'd be like, yeah, this doesn't make sense.
I'm going to watch this shit as soon as we get off the show now, because now I want to watch it.
Dude, it hurt my brain seeing it because I was just like, why are we doing this? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand the purpose of these people. At the same time, I kind of like it because it's like we're not taking ourselves too seriously, you know? Like, there's, to your point, like, I love Star Wars when there's like the Force is involved, but I also am starting to really enjoy this like universe that kind of mirrors our own, but there's such like a wide variety of goofiness to it, right? And things that just don't fit, and just people trying to make themselves stand out or feel special. And there's this group of people that just, this is how they feel special, and even if it's just like some writer's little love letter to their dead parents or something like that, because it's definitely 1950s influenced, I'm okay with it. I'll take it. I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it, and I think you remember the movie Get Out?
Yeah.
There's an actor from that film.
Is it Lakeith?
No. What?
Oh man.
Which was that one?
Lakeith Stansfield?
Oh no. It's what's his name? He was in Dodgeball. It's the guy who, hey, I've got it, guys. We can win $50,000.
Oh shit, that guy.
Yeah, he's in it. He's
funny.
he's the guy who tries to basically was going to swap bodies with the main character and Get Out.
Yeah, nice.
But he's in it, and I'm just like, the minute I see him, I'm like, okay, and there's another actor. I'm happy if you've seen episode 3, you already know, but there's another actor. Every time I see this person in anything, I get really excited about it. And I won't tell you who it is. But
is it Bill Burr?
No. He's in
The Mandalorian. He was so good.
So Bill Burr was in a show called Breaking Bad, right?
If Bryan Cranston's in this, I'm throwing myself out the window.
But Bill Burr was a secondary character, right? There was another secondary character in Breaking Bad. He is in this episode. And the minute you see it, you're going to be like, yo, shit! I really hope I'm happy to just type the words out. I think they serve. Okay, this is Mahaffey talking about the group I was referencing. He said, I think they serve two purposes. They show that Boba is fair, and he needs to fill out his ranks based on what's coming.
Y'all be
sprinkle, baby.
Y'all just be sprinkling shit
Just
on me,
little-
and I just want to watch it. So
we like to feed you like a baby bird, a little bit at a time. We chew it up first. We spit it in your mouth. It's great. Alicia Silverstone, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just you chewing my food for you're chewing your food for you. That's gross.
I love Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, I don't want her eating my food. Stephen Root. Stephen Root. Is he having a stroke or is this autocorrect? Google. Oh, I swear to God. Milton from that's it. Milton from Office Space is Stephen Root. That's the actor name. I was like, what?
That's funny. I fucking love him.
Excuse me. Can you see my stapler? I said no salt on my margarita, and they still gave me salt last time. So great. But yeah, go watch episode 3. Enjoy episode 3. Episode 2.
Hell yeah.
I watched it without the other half, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna watch Boba Fett." I was like, "You're gonna watch it?" Because episode 2 was 90% no words, and I'm not gonna sit there and read subtitles again.
So Ash said the same fucking thing. She was like, "Where are the subtitles?"
It's like,
because I don't think they've said anything this whole episode.
They fucking haven't, dude. They haven't. They haven't said shit. And like even like the total like word count for him for Boba Fett was like 30 at the most. Like it's like God, but at the same time, so important for you to realize the emotional connection. And what a great way of doing that by having nobody say shit.
Yeah.
Like it's the same way if like you watch somebody play with their dog and they'll talk about the dog. You're like, that motherfucker loves the dog. Not calling the Tusken Raiders dogs, obviously, but the relationship is similar. Adopted family. But yeah, that's all the spoilers I'm going to give this week. And the worst part is, once again, I forgot the goddamn spoiler banners because we're on the 2x2 video, but that's all right.
That's all right.
Man, all right, so this week, light load, thank God. Once again, I'm Ernie.
I'm Dom.
Mahaffey was our man in the chair. As always, thank you, man. I really, once again, appreciate the show notes. I try to read them, and then, of course, I remember I can't read. So that's
thanks for fucking up God of War Ragnarok.
It's not his fault.
It's not. It's really not.
It's not his
God
fault.
of War came out on PC this week. It's just not Ragnarok.
Technically
it's the
accurate.
First one.
Yeah. And to be fair, the person who mentioned it did not say Ragnarok either. They just said God of War, and now it's just like it's got to be the new one.
Friend of the show.
Oh damn it, man! You're gonna out him? It's like that. All right, fine. Hey, Sean, your fault. This is your fault.
He's been on the show.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna find out if he actually listens to the show or not.
Yeah.
If he just gives a shave, like, oh, guess you really enjoyed last episode, huh, bud? But no.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody
Bring back
for watching
Cowboy
it.
Bebop.
Yes. Thanks everybody watching the show. You can find us on social, Joystick Maverick. You can find us on joystickmaverick.com. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. We're only on YouTube from now on. Twitch is not really what we're going to hit.
And they don't support people. And they allow for hate raids.
That's right.
And they're not giving us any fucking money. So I'm not fucking playing with them. All my homies hate Twitch.
Yeah, it's time for them to jump ship. Like us. But, cool. Enjoy yourself. Be good, Dom. See you next week. Peace.
I was throwing up gangs.
Yeah, I don't even know. Hopefully nobody just took offense. I was just wiggling my hands back and forth. But that's for episode 29. Peace.